Doug, and welcome to YMP Podcast Now. Reuters reports that Apple is beating Google to the punch, whose own music efforts have stalled, by completing work on an online music storage service that is set to launch it to the front of the line, according to several people familiar with both companies' plans. Apple's plans will allow iTunes customers to store their songs on a remote server and then access them from wherever they have an internet connection, said two of these people who asked not to be named as the talks are still confidential. Apple has yet to sign any new licenses for the service, and major music labels are hoping to secure deals before the service's launch, three of the sources said. Apple has not told its music partners of when it intends to introduce its music locker, they said. An Apple spokesman declined to comment. Amazon.com Incorporated launched a music locker service earlier in April without new licensing agreements, leading to threats of legal action from some music companies. Last week, however, Amazon held talks with some labels to reach agreements for a new, more sophisticated locker service. Apple, Amazon, and Google are battling for control of new digital media platforms through which everyday users will access their music and videos. While Amazon is the leading e-reader maker, Apple and Google are competing on mobile platforms like smartphones and tablet devices. The so-called iPad 2S's A5 processor not only is a speedy dual-core chip, but also works to provide 9 times the gaming performance of its predecessor, the A4. So, Apple is giving it the A5 chip with remarkably better gaming performance. 9to5Mac has already discovered in the iOS 4 SDK that Apple is bringing the A5 chip to the next iPhone. Now, they have heard that Apple is going to push this gaming performance, and major speed is one of the next generation iPhone's major marketing points. To be clear, these prototype iPhone 4, 4S devices are not necessarily the next generation iPhone. These phones are simply prototype units for developers to get ready for the new phone, rumored to be launching in September. The next generation iPhone may end up looking just like the iPhone 4, or like the iPhone 3G and the iPhone 3GS sort of thing. But this cannot be confirmed. If the next iPhone does end up looking like the iPhone 4, one could assume that Apple will pack in more than just an A5, perhaps an 8-megapixel camera. The operating system running on these phones is a version of iOS 4 that supports the next generation hardware, and this may be why 9to5Mac found the iPhone 5 with an A5 chip in the iOS 4 SDK at all. If past history repeats itself, the 5th generation iPhone will ship with Apple's 5th generation mobile software, in this case iOS 5. Reasonable assumption? iOS 5 will be announced at Apple's WWDC conference in early June, with a rumored launch in September of this year. Scores of well-known websites were unavailable for large parts of last Thursday because of problems with Amazon's web hosting service, states the BBC. Foursquare, Reddit, and Quora were among the sites taken offline by the glitch. Amazon EC2 is the retailer's cloud computing business. It provides processing power and storage to the companies that do not have their own data centers. No reason has so far been given for the outage. Brought to you by the minds of Conan O'Brien and Team Coco, the Idea is the latest product in Apple's multi-touch lineup, except it's not clear what it is yet. Mac Stories notes the Idea promo was clearly inspired by Apple's latest iPad 2 promo videos and ads. The Idea commercial touches on some key components of Apple's marketing machine: gestures, voiceover, higher price point for bigger model, thinner design in the 2nd generation version. It's got everything the Apple marketing team would be proud of. Here, take a look.
Sleek, revolutionary, groundbreaking. It will change the way you work, play, think about everything. We don't know what it is yet, but here's what we do know. It costs $599, $799 for the more expensive model. The new Idea. Pre-order yours now. And if you've already paid for your Idea, coming soon, the Idea 2 from Apple. Look, we know you're going to buy it.
Today's story is from Charlotte, North Carolina, where apparently they do things bigger than even in Texas. Miranda and Josh Crawford just wanted another baby. They met as nursing students in Conway, South Carolina, and got married in Las Vegas in 2007. After trying unsuccessfully to get pregnant, the Crawfords sought help from Reproductive Endocrinology Associates of Charlotte and tried in vitro fertilization. 4 of the embryos developed, and Dr. Seth Katz transferred 2 of them into Miranda Crawford's uterus. Only 1 survived, and the Crawfords' daughter, Jocelyn, was born March 17, 2009. But they wanted more than 1 child, so 10 months later they tried again, using 2 frozen embryos left from the initial IVF procedure. Unfortunately, a miscarriage followed 9 weeks later. Miranda, 34, a nurse at Presbyterian Hospital, and Josh, 28, a nurse at Carolina's Medical Center Mercy, didn't have any embryos left. Their insurance covered most of the cost of the IVF, about $10,000 per attempt, so they decided to try it again. Last June, the Katz again transferred 2 embryos into Miranda Crawford's uterus. That's when something extraordinary happened. Both embryos split. Instead of 1 or 2 babies, the Crawfords suddenly were expecting 4. I said, "There's quads," Katz recalled, and she was like, "You're kidding." Then I showed her the heartbeats. She was just overwhelmed. Privately, though, Katz said my heart kind of sank a little bit because I knew how high risk that was. But these weren't just any quads. It turns out they were 2 sets of identical twins, 2 boys in one placenta, 2 girls in the other. Only 2% of pregnancies result in 1 set of identical twins. Doctors won't even guess how rare it is to have 2. Octomom, look over your shoulder. And welcome to another Tuesday in the Apple Magic Kingdom, boys and girls. I get the feeling this is going to be a slow news week, so just get prepared for me to bring out a lot of nonsense stories that are just boring as hell. But you never know, something may happen, Hey, look at that! Monkeys just flew out of my butt! So join us tomorrow. And remember, download, double-click, drop out.